Hi Hugo, it's a pleasure to see you here at UCNC. A lot of stuff going on about 5G. What are our reviews of the development of 5G? Where can we see in 5G in a couple of years from now?
Well, I think this is a very good question because we have a vision of 5G that consists of evolved mobile broadband and also two types of machine type communication services, the massive machine type communication and ultra reliable machine type communication. I think that what we're seeing in the market now is that there's a strong push for the EMBB with a push not from Europe, but I think that it's very important that we from a European perspective keeps our vision of integrating verticals to really get the machine type communication services in place. Now, how to make this happen is a tricky question, and from a vendor perspective, if you see a demand for it, I think it's much easier to make it happen. And we heard this morning that Mario Campolargo was asking for a large test bed, and I think that if there's a clear desire to have that from a commercial perspective, from an operator, from a vertical and so on, I think that would be a very good motivating factor to make that happen, really. Other than that, I think that when it comes to technologies versus capabilities, I prefer to see the different generations as new capabilities. What can we use them for, and not how do we solve the technical issues that come with that. I mean, looking back at the previous generations with voice, mobile data and mobile broadband, what are the capabilities that 5G should give us? And of course, increased mobile broadband data rates, it's kind of a linear extrapolation. But also hosting the machine type communication, which is a completely different game, I think is the new capability that 5G will provide us. So for me, 5G is the capabilities of hosting machine type communication together with evolved mobile broadband. Now, when it comes to the technology components to solve that, it depends where you want to go. We see a lot of interesting things here today, and we see a lot of interesting things going on in the research community.
So a lot of work to be done in the next years. That's good.
Always. And I think that it's also important to see that there are different roles, that when you're coming closer to deployment, the actual deployment is under the current business model driven by the operators. Vendors are standardizing and producing things. Researchers are the guys that telling us in the industry that we don't have the fantasy to see the next great thing, and we need you in the academics. I'm not talking to Professor Correia here to tell us about the possibilities and limitations of certain things, and to keep a different roles between academics, industry, and operators. And together that we meet in these EU-funded projects at the right time. So I think that is very important. But there's a lot of things that needs to be done in the future, as always.